You are watching Stripped Down, Saskatchewan's one-hour local music showcase, the show that brings the venue to you in the comfort of your own living room. I'm your host, Curtis Anderson, and tonight we've got a local music tag team. That's right, we have the president of the Sask Music Board of Directors herself, Kim Fontaine, and that's not all. We also got Saskatchewan icon, Jay Semko. It's a loaded Stripped Down tonight, and here we are kicking it off, Kim Fontaine and Jay Semko.
Hello, mister, just thought I'd check in. I just thought I'd say hello. I haven't spoken to you for a while, and I thought I'd let you know. You're out of sight, you're out of mind. Did you ever stop to read the headlines? You're on the sidelines, heaven help us all. Mister, we could use a little hand. Are you out there, mister? Did you pack up and leave us to face this mess on our own? It's getting hot here, it's getting out of control, and I thought that you should know. You're out of sight, you're out of mind. Did you ever stop to read the headlines? You're on the sidelines, heaven help us all. We could use a little hand. Mister, we could use a little hand. What's going on goes on and on. You know it's wrong. Can somebody tell me where you've been? On and on, you're so withdrawn, you don't respond, don't even bother to step in. So goodbye, mister, but before I go, I really think you need to know. You're out of sight, you're out of mind. Did you ever stop to read the headlines? You're on the sidelines, heaven help us all. Mister, we could use a little hand. You're on the sidelines, heaven help us all. Mister, we could use a little hand.
You are watching Stripped Down. Check it out. I'm the host, and now I'm also a roadie this week. We're breaking all sorts of television guidelines on Stripped Down this week. Jay Semko, Kim Fontaine. You guys excited tonight?
You bet.
This
How you doing?
Good. We're doing firsts again. Like I mentioned, I'm tangled up here, but we're moving stuff. We're moving mics. I like to see the standing up and playing. It's really good. Really adds a good element to the show. Here we are, Stripped Down, episode 14.
Finally.
I originally asked you to be on. You invited Jay Semko. What's the union? Why come on together? Because you guys would be fantastic shows separately, but you put it out there.
Well,
you said,
yeah, we do a lot of our own shows separately, but it's nice every now and then to be able to play as a duo, or once in a while we have the opportunity to play with other musicians and be a band, and you know, it kind of worked out because Jay's a bass player and a singer-songwriter. I'm a bass player and a singer-songwriter, so you know, we can accompany each other as well as do our own thing. So makes for a more interesting show. And
absolutely. How did this get started?
Well, we were working on my CD, and I had asked Jay to come and play bass on it, and from there, through osmosis, just through a process, we wound up singing a duet together on that CD as well, and then I was getting ready to launch my CD, and at the same time, Jay was getting ready to launch Redberry, which was his CD from last year. And I said, Jay, let's kill two birds with one stone, and let's do our CD launches together. So what we did was we shared a band, and each did our show, and ever since then, we've kind of been doing more and more stuff together.
Lots of collaborating going on because you guys have worked with so many of the former guests here on Strip Down, which we're going to spend a lot of the show talking about. But is it fun to be helpful? Like, you guys seem to be everywhere. Is that what you enjoy?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, it's like Kim and I have been friends for like a long time.
Yeah. Actually,
For a
we
long,
go
long
back
time.
Probably
And,
HUGE days.
And it's funny, we never actually played music together. I mean, we knew each other and we're friends and stuff, and it was really just a few years ago. And we discovered that we harmonize well together. I think that's something that's kind of cool. And, it's kind of lonely when you go out and, and play an acoustic type venue just by yourself, and it's always nice to have somebody else there. And I mean, we complement each other, and when we go and do things together, our acoustic type thing, then we'll play some songs together. Kim will play bass, I'll play acoustic. I'll play bass and she'll play acoustic, and we switch it around. Some we'll do by ourselves, and it all kind of works itself out. It's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah. So who are some of the local people you've worked with you really enjoy?
Okay, are you talking as far as songwriting?
Either
or
Your names just keep coming up constantly. Every time we have a Strip Down episode, someone's either...
Somebody mentions?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
That's nice. That's nice of everybody. They don't have to do that. Well, I mean, we were talking about Ray Whitten.
Yeah.
Ray Whitten is, Ray Whitten we met actually I met Ray Whitten originally at Crackers one night. He was a karaoke contestant and I was a judge, and the guy just had he's just got a deadly, deadly voice. And then we co-facilitate a songwriting retreat out at Emma Lake with another friend, David J. Taylor, and Ray came out last year. And it started this kind of a songwriting spark, and since then Ray's done a CD. And Jay has a co-write with him.
You gave him a song.
Yeah, well, we actually co-wrote, and Ray and I co-wrote a song together that's on his new CD called Prairie Fire, which he really came up with the seed for, and I just sort of added my element to it and helped it along. And then there's a song that Dave Taylor, I call him Dave, I know he's David J. Taylor, is his show business name, but he's a good buddy of ours, and we've done actually a number of things together, the three of us. And Dave and I wrote a song called You Were My Angel that ended up on Ray's. So we were very flattered and excited that he's recorded that song, and yeah, it's cool.
Well, if we don't scare you too much tonight, Jay, I have a feeling you're going to be the first artist that three-peats on Strip Down, because I'm lining up Ray Whitten for the fall when Strip Down relaunches again in September, and he really wants to bring you on with him as well.
Oh, cool.
And when the show first started, I promised coworker Simon Hyatt that I'd have you on and I'd let him be kind of the guest host, and I'd kind of take a back seat because he is one of your biggest fans, and he is jumping at the bit to go 1 hour with you and ask some in-depth questions. He knows more about you and the Northern Pikes than he's probably forgotten more about you guys than I'll ever know. So would you come back? Would you do that for us?
You bet, I'd love to.
Awesome. Let's go back to the retreat.
Okay.
Last year, 3 people, Ray Whitten and 2 others, were part.
There was 5 participants,
Okay.
and from that, 3
Three of
people
them.
came out with albums that are about to release them. And one was Ray Whitten, Lynn McGuinness as well, and Glenn Suter from Regina. They're all at the sort of mastering stage.
So how
of their
rewarding is
albums.
that?
It's great. It really makes me feel proud, and we've all played a part in inspiring them, or getting them started on their way, and they're kicking butt.
It's pretty fun. You do the songwriting retreat, and it's generally, I guess we refer to ourselves as instructors, but not really. I mean, it's just a case of us getting involved with people and helping them to get the ball rolling and getting our experience in regarding songwriting. And I mean, that's really, I think a big strength of Kim and myself and Dave is that, we're all veteran songwriters that have done it for a long time and had some good success with it. And it's pretty neat to see everybody coming out with their own project and stuff, and getting out and playing gigs. And I played a gig in Regina actually a few months ago with Ray and with Chris Brinklow, and we know everybody, so we can keep talking about people all night. But I mean, it's cool because I'm watching your intro thing there, and
Worked with them.
Yeah,
worked
know
with
most
them,
of the
worked
people
with them.
actually, and
Who's that redhead?
and so much cool music. I mean, Saskatoon has a really blossoming music scene right now. I think it's very cool.
You guys seem to be helping mold that, though.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if nothing else, we're people that are, I think, proud of where we are, and also the fact that we want to help people get going. And it's always, very rewarding. You feel good if you help somebody out in some way, and if whether that means helping them get a gig or helping them to become better songwriters or whatever it is.
Helping
I mean,
them
there's
out, recording on their record.
working on the record exactly. I mean, it's really fun for me. After having played in the same band for a gazillion years, when I get to play on other people's records, it's really fun. So I've played on a number of albums over the last couple of years from local people, and it's been great.
Apparently, this is going to make you blush, but you've been referred to as a matriarch.
Yes, that's something few people have either called me Mama Kim. Lynn, if you're watching, that was you that started that.
Mama Kim.
Yep, Mama Kim and her baby ducky, she says. But it's it does make me blush. But it's also it's an honor because I've been around a long time and seen some people ladder up in their careers and like I said, when you're giving somebody support and you're seeing them kind of sprout their little wings and fly off and do their thing, it does make you feel really, really proud.
Go back in time. I mean, when you were with the Pikes and you were starting out, who were your mentors? Who were your Jay Semko and Kim Fontaines?
Well, Kim, as a matriarch, I've got to refer. She had a group called Mother Hubbard.
Okay.
So
acoustic group.
that's very matriarchal.
Like who influenced you guys back in the day?
Okay, well, when I was starting out in high school, I remember there wasn't a lot of women rock and rollers out there, and I really looked up to Ann and Nancy Wilson, because they're great. Their vocals were great. Nancy Wilson was a wonderful acoustic player, and I really followed them a lot. Oh, God, there were so many. I couldn't even begin to name who influenced me. Or are you talking sort of locally? I
was shooting for that, but
were you shooting for that?
We talk influences later on anyway, so.
Oh God, locally.
I'm just curious if anybody was
it's
back there.
Funny because there's a lot of people that were sort of on the scene when I was starting to come up the ranks that don't live here anymore. Everybody kind of moved to Vancouver or Toronto, and because there was more opportunity out there for them to move their careers forward. So.
In episode 1,
I stayed behind.
You're talking to Chris Brinklow, who you've collaborated with, and you could just see after working with you, his confidence just went through the roof. So, were you anybody's, or was anybody your Jay Semko back in the day?
Well, I saw a lot of groups from here. I guess one band had a bit of an impact. Was the band Street Heart. And that was the first band I ever actually snuck into a nightclub to see, and I was. Not that I advise anybody to ever do that, but I was underage and I went in to see them. There was a real buzz about them because they were, at that time, had just signed a record contract and they were starting to become known nationally, and just that whole excitement factor of, oh, this is cool. I could go for this, kind of thing. And a lot of it's just really hard work. And I mean, a lot of the things I did when I first started writing songs and playing in bands were, looking at it, I aimed high. I mean, I wanted to, I aimed for the biggest, like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, and later on people like Elvis Costello and Squeeze and the Police, and I mean, those were people that I really, you tried to aim really high. You tried to aim, try and make your songs as good as those people, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of work. But on a local level, I mean, boy, everybody in all the music stores and I mean, it was always very supportive here. People have been pretty good.
We're going to dance with the mics and get them into place in a second because we want to hear some more music. But I'm just curious, what are we going to hear tonight? You, brand new disc out? Not too far behind. What are we going to hear?
We're going to hear a variety of material here.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to play one by myself now.
Okay.
And it's a song, actually, that I wrote in Nashville. I did a trip there in just before Christmas in December. And I did some writing with a few different people, and wrote this next song that I'm going to play for you shortly with a guy named Larry Hawk, who's a guy from down there, and he's written a gazillion songs. In fact, he showed me his catalog on his computer, and it was just like, you know, Tolstoy's War and Peace, except with music titles in it, you know. It was pretty cool. Anyway, we sat down, we spent a day at Ole Music Publishing, which is a music publishing company where we were working at in the office there the first day. And the second day, we went there again, which is unusual because most of the people that you write with down there do it in usually an afternoon or something, you know. But Larry was really intense and really into working on something really good, and we kept throwing ideas in and then taking them out and that kind of thing. And then the third day, ended up going to Hendersonville, which is where Johnny Cash lived for many years. And in fact, on my way back, I tried to find the Johnny Cash Museum, and I couldn't. I got lost, and I ended up way off in the boonies somewhere in rural Tennessee. But anyway, we did come up with a song, and it's from the new album, which is called International Superstar. And this song's called Absolutely Free.
All right.
It's good to hear that you don't ever worry about me, baby, when I'm gone. You don't mind it. That key'll still be hanging in that secret place where only I can find it. The coffee's always warm and so are you. When you're loving me, it's positively, absolutely free. We ain't got time to waste on what your neighbors think, or your sister's preaching. Just let them talk. We're all saints or sinners, friends or fools. It all depends who's making the rules and the road you walk. And it always seems to lead back to you loving me. It's positively, absolutely free. Rolling down the highway, sometimes I can feel a smile break across my cold, unshaven face. And it's just the sweetest thought of you dancing in my mind, taking me back to your old place, where the biscuits and the kisses and the sweetest memories, positively, absolutely free. You fill me up, feed my soul. When we hold hands, time can just go on without us. No strings, no words, no price to pay. Loving this old world away for a moment. We got it figured out. Letting love be what it wants to be. Positively, absolutely free. Positively, absolutely free.
Jay Semko alongside Kim Fontaine in the Shaw Studios tonight. You're watching Strip Down. We got to take our first really quick commercial break, but as soon as we get back, we're going to do 3 Degrees of Josh Palmer, the weekly segment we do each and every week. I can't wait for that. So stick around. More Strip Down coming up right after this.
Stick around. More Strip Down after this. Voted Best Clothing Store for 2006-2007, Ultimo Euromoda features high-speed fashion such as Belle Staff and J. Lindenberg. Ultimo doesn't follow the trends, they introduce them.
Providing a wide range of instruments under one roof, Mother's Music has been operating out of Saskatoon for 17 years. With music lessons, instrument rentals, and in-store financing, Mother's Music will fill your local music needs.
Introducing Wing Street in 7 flavors, from honey barbecue to spicy barbecue to heat seeker, delivered to your door by Pizza Hut. Wing Street, you've been warned.
For 10 years, SIGA has been strengthening the lives of Saskatchewan and First Nations people through employment, economic growth, and community relations. With 5 casinos in the province, SIGA offers a Saskatchewan First Nations gaming experience.
Tune in to Remote Control Cinema every Wednesday and Friday as host Simon Hyatt reviews the newest movies to hit Shaw on demand, plus classics you may have missed the first time. Remote Control Cinema, only on Shaw.
Rolco Radio in Saskatoon. C95, Rock 102, and News Talk 650 are proud supporters of Saskatoon's local music scene, including Shaw's Stripped Down.
Affinity Credit Union is a proud sponsor of community programming. Affinity Credit Union. Our difference is personal.
Escape Sports. Longboarding, freeline skating, kiteboarding, extra cycling, sidewalk surfers, Heelys, low-key jackets. Escape Sports. 339 Avenue A South. escapesports.ca. You are watching Stripped Down. Kim Fontaine, Jay Semko in the Shaw Studios tonight. We were talking before the break, helping a lot of artists. We're going to go back in time. We're going to recap all of the guests here in Stripped Down and get your thoughts on them. However, first, we need to play our weekly segment, 3 Degrees of Josh Palmer. Here's the background. This logo is fantastic, by the way, when it comes up. Josh Palmer was supposed to be the very first guest on Stripped Down. He fell ill. We keep trying to re-get him on the show. Dates just not working out. Yet every single week, kind of like you guys, we could do 3 Degrees with you as well. The artists every week talk about Josh Palmer and how he helps them. So we started playing 3 Degrees of Josh Palmer. So how close have each of you worked with Josh Palmer?
When Josh Palmer did I think it was his very first CD with his sister, I was his graphic artist.
So there's 1 degree.
Yep.
So far there hasn't been anything other than 1 degree.
Yeah.
Everybody pretty much in the city has done something with him.
And when he was working on his last record that he just had done with the Rebellion, he was working with David J. Taylor, so I had the opportunity to spend some time in the studio while they were tracking that.
So you have like two ins. You're the winner so far.
Do you want more?
I'm sure we could do that all night.
I used to work with Josh's dad, Tom, at HL Music, and played in a band with him, and Josh was about this tall, and he used to come downstairs and sing into the mic while we played along. Wow. Now I'm really dating myself, but yeah.
Mr. Semko, Josh Palmer.
Josh Palmer. I first became pretty familiar with Josh from the TV show, from Canadian Idol. And then I realized that pretty much everybody I know knows Josh. Yeah. And I've only met Josh, I think, a couple of times. So I've never actually worked directly with him. Although I did a gig at Juno Fest when it was here, and his dad was doing the sound. He was mixing the band, and Kim was in the band, and that kind of thing. You've
worked with
and
Kim,
I've
so
seen
that's
Josh in public many times.
Right there, so we still made it.
Actually, we played a gig together in Moose Jaw about 2 years ago. We did a gig together. Actually, the Northern Pikes played in an outdoor stage in Moose Jaw, and I know Josh played there too, and we heard him play.
There it is, 1 degree. Again, we're going to go back in time right now. Can we wheel this thing in? Here's our lovely assistant, Tessa. If you've checked out the few websites dedicated to the show, you'll notice the second logo. When it was originally made, it was white, and that's not going to work for TV. So we thought, you know what, let's keep the second one around. Let's get every artist to sign it. So, being who you are, kind of overseeing the local scene here. Last week, Earl Pereira of Mo Badass. Thoughts on Earl Pereira?
Yeah.
Earl's a great guy.
Yeah?
I love Earl. He's just a great bass player. He's just so funky. You can't help but listen to Earl play and just want to dance and groove along.
Saskatoon sweetheart, Teresa Securka.
Yes.
Another good guest.
Yep.
Had interactions with her at all?
Yes, we did. We played Sonic Therapy together actually just a couple weeks ago, and we're different sets, but we were both part of the Songwriter Circle. Did a Songwriter Circle with her at the Broadway Theatre as a fundraiser, and also played with her at the Canada Disc grand opening as well.
Well, she sang on my previous record, Redberry. I mean, I call it a record, my previous recording, and that was out a couple of years ago, and it's sort of a pseudo duet. I really love it. She came in the studio, and she was really busy at the time, so I really appreciated her coming in to sing. The song was called Happy with Nothing, and she was great. She's great.
You guys played the same night at McNally Robinson at the magazine launch.
That is right, actually.
That's where I met both of you for the first time.
Oh, cool.
You were surprised by this, but Ultimate Power Duo were in here a month ago.
Yes.
Thoughts on them?
I love UPD, and if you ever get the chance to see UPD, you have to see them live, because they are performance art. Their show is great. They're fun, they're upbeat, and I love them.
South by Southwest didn't happen for them, but you were there.
Yeah.
That's a good memory for you?
Actually, you know what? I know that people in Texas were trying to move mountains to get them over. They had a congressman on the phone, or at least a congressman's secretary, trying to, and it was unfortunate. But I know that anytime they want to go to South by Southwest, I'm pretty sure they're going to get an invitation.
We're doing this so I show you the diversity of guests we've had.
Yeah.
Because I really want to impress you guys with the show. You guys can,
Oh, it's very cool. Everybody you've mentioned is great.
Yeah. Schuyler Jansen. What do you know about Schuyler?
You've had
You bet.
Schuyler on. He's good. He's a good songwriter.
The thing I remember most about that episode was I called him, what are you bringing? He said he's bringing an acoustic guitar and a keyboard. So I brought like a single patch for his keyboard, and he brought this, I don't even know what it was. It was this gigantic homemade keyboard that he pretty much crawled inside of, and I was like, I don't know how to make that. But the show, once we got going, went off without a hitch. Great guy, great story.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And, I think they're back together, Old Reliable, that he played with, and they were a very cool band, too.
Edmonton.
And, I mean, Schuyler, he's been all over the world, Schuyler. He's done really well.
He's very talented.
Unsigned Factions, heard of them?
Unsigned Factions?
Who's in it? You got to say who's in the band.
Bridget and, I don't know.
Alex and
The other guy.
the other guy with the glasses.
They opened for Arms Up, and actually our wonderful Vanna White here, Tessa, really liked the band. So for her birthday episode, we got them in. They were brand new, and they were just kind of booking, but check them out if you
I
haven't
haven't met
had
them yet.
Cool. Looking forward to hearing them.
Arms Up?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
I like how they call themselves squeaky clean.
Yeah.
You don't get too many young guy rock bands who describe themselves that way. Dumb Angel?
Okay, that's who's in there. Who's in that band?
Sean and someone else?
I don't know Dumb Angel.
Okay. Dull Talk and Ransom? Surprisingly,
Haven't yet. Well, haven't
We're talking
met,
about them
haven't
earlier.
met,
Yeah.
But heard very much about. Have to get out to see one of the shows, but I don't think we've met officially though.
the thing that's really wonderful about Dull Talk and Ransom is in Saskatoon, there's kind of, I find a divide. There's the really, young, early 20s that really want to go out there and play everywhere and everything and get signed. And then there's a little bit of the older crowd that really like Saskatoon, have families, they like playing the coffee houses. And then there's Dull Talk and Ransom, who they just don't fit into any category. Underneath the Fray, episode 4.
Yes.
Yes, she was a sweetheart.
Yes, she's very talented. Lois, very good singer.
She's great.
Seen her play at McNally a couple times and stuff like that. Yeah.
We missed Jen Lane because her and Smoke Killer have both been on the show separately. Wonderfully talented.
Jen Lane is a good friend of mine. We used to play in a group together. Actually, we had a trio with another woman named Sonia Miller, and we did each other's songs, did 3-part harmony, played Ness Creek, wherever we could, and it was fun. I love singing with Jen.
As likable as they are as females, Ash Jones is one of the most likable guys I've ever met.
Yes, he's a character.
He is.
Yeah.
And here it is, number 1, the guy that kicked off the show, Chris Brinklow. You guys have both worked with him.
Yes.
Let's talk about Chris Brinklow for a few minutes before we get to another song. Chris Brinklow.
I wrote a song with Chris, actually.
Yes.
We did some writing, and it has
Song
a
about
bear in it.
camping.
Yes, it has a bear in it because
He
I'm
when he talked about that experience. I'm serious.
I'm obsessed with bears, and Chris and I, we hung out for a night and came up with this song, and it was fun. We had a great time. And then, like I said, we did a gig together in Regina not that long ago. He and Ray Whitten and myself, and we had fun. It was like, the fun part of those gigs is when you drive home after the gig, and everybody's trying to keep each other awake, and you always have to do the 7-Eleven stop on the way to town and load up on a bunch of junk food. And it was fun.
Chris and I are doing a show together at Cafe Vivant at the end of the month. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You guys are like, kind of like a clique, hey? I always see you guys are
family,
playing in different duos.
Actually, really, the Saskatoon music community is really, it's really like a family, We all do stuff.
A lot of people
together.
know each other, and we all get along. And I think because Saskatoon's not an enormous metropolis, I think there's a sense of support that exists there. You're always rooting for the other people to do good things. So
I'm picking your brains way too much. We need to get to more music. You did solo one last time. You're up next.
I'm up
I might
next.
actually get Ian to swing the mic in there if possible. What are we gonna hear, Kim?
You're gonna hear something that's on my CD called Coincidentally.
Okay.
I watch you as you walk outside the window. I'm always sitting in this very spot. I've often wondered if you've ever noticed that I am always in this coffee shop. When suddenly watching you, wanting you to notice me, going suddenly here. And every day I ride the bus in the morning, and every day you're at that very stop. And every day you say hello to the driver. And every day you sit with old man Gus, going suddenly watching you, wanting you to notice me, going suddenly here, going suddenly watching you, wanting you to notice me, going suddenly near. So tell me how this story needs to end. Should I walk up to you and say hello? Or should I just pretend I've never noticed? I guess I'll never ever really know. But when suddenly watching you, wanting you to notice me, going suddenly here, going suddenly watching you, wanting you to notice me, going suddenly near.
Kim Fontaine in the Shaw TV studios tonight. You're watching Strip Down. We have to take another really quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to chat it up with Jay Semko, who's also here. Brand new disc, or album, record, as you were calling it before. Awesome. We got that coming up, as well as I want you to dispel maybe a rumor that I've thought was true my whole life. So that's coming up right after the second break here on Strip Down. Stick around.
Don't go anywhere. More Stripped Down after this.
Shaw is your only source for continuous local community news, information, and weather. Join Ann Perry and the rest of the Shaw Information Update crew daily as they bring you the latest news and information about our community. With weather updated every 10 minutes and the Shaw Information Update every half hour, Shaw is your one stop for local news and information. The Shaw Information Update, only on Shaw.
Voted Best Clothing Store for 2006-2007, Ultimo Yuramoda features high-speed fashion such as Belle Staff and J. Lindenberg. Ultimo doesn't follow the trends, they introduce them.
Providing a wide range of instruments under one roof, Mother's Music has been operating out of Saskatoon for 17 years. With music lessons, instrument rentals, and in-store financing, Mother's Music will fill your local music needs. Escape Sports. Longboarding, freeline skating, kiteboarding, extra cycling, sidewalk surfers, Heelys, low-key jackets. Escape Sports, 339 Avenue A South, escapesports.ca. Ralco Radio in Saskatoon. C95, Rock 102, and News Talk 650 are proud supporters of Saskatoon's local music scene, including Shaw's Stripped Down.
The Shaw Sports Update takes you into the game from Little League to the big leagues. Covering everything from curling, hockey, baseball, and football, we've got all the bases covered. Whether you're a fan of the Blades, Huskies, Hilltops, Yellow Jackets, or Accelerators, Simon Hyatt brings you the latest information on the teams, athletes, and volunteers in our community. The Shaw Sports Update with Simon Hyatt, only on Shaw.
You are watching Stripped Down. Kim Fontaine, Jay Semko in the Shaw studios tonight. Things are clipping along tonight. We got to talk about this. Can we get a close-up? Brand new album, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on it?
Very excited, actually, about it coming out. I'm on a label out of Ontario called Busted Flat Records, which is distributed by Sonic Onion, which is distributed by Universal. So it's helpful to me because I can get it. It's a little more universally available. So that's kind of cool. Songs, I did a bunch of co-writing on the record, which is the first time I've ever done that. I've always been a very solitary songwriter that writes by himself most of the time. And over the last few years, started doing some co-writing with a number of different people, including Kim. Yeah. And decided for this one that I just wanted to experiment a little bit. So it was fun for me. It was just something to go outside. I mean, I took it a lot more country flavored, a little more folk. I call it folk rock / country. And yeah, it was really fun. It was a fun record to do. I did it in Saskatoon at Cosmic Pad Studios with my buddy Ross Nikiforuk, and we banged it off in literally just over 3 weeks. So it was done very quickly and didn't think too much about it, just went ahead and did it. A lot of the songs are pretty happy, which is good for me because I tend to get really lost in myself and get a bit brooding, and there's still a bit of that if you're into that on there, but definitely, I was very conscious of being able to play the songs live and being able to play them as a trio or a 4-piece group and that kind of thing.
Musically, what goals are left for Jay Semko? Like, what are you shooting for still? You've done it all.
No, not really. I haven't done. No, I've got a long way to go. You never stop learning in music, and I've done a lot of scores for film and television, and one thing I'm really happy about. I mean, I got to work on Due South, which was a 5-year chunk of my life working on that show in Toronto, and syndicated around the world, which is cool. You can sort of get your music out to a lot of different people. But no, I'm really into co-writing now. It's become a quite a neat thing for me, and I love the whole psychology of just working with somebody and feeding off them, emotionally and artistically, and trying to find where they're at, and usually it's pretty fun. Like I say, I've been a pretty lonely writer for a long time, so it's kind of nice to be able to sit down in a room with one or two other people and throw ideas around and just get the ball rolling. It's fun.
Kim.
Yes.
Not quite as new as Jay's.
No, I'm due for another one.
Relatively new, though. Not that old.
Yeah.
Speak about the album.
Speak about it?
Yeah.
Well, let me see.
How's
what
it
to
treating
tell
you?
It's treating me well, and I'm very proud of it. I had a lot of wonderful friends and family members, throw a lot of love into that record, and I'm really proud of it. And there's some co-writing on it too. It's like as Jay was saying too, I tended to be a pretty solitary writer too, and there's much more collaboration on that album.
I read that you love songwriting because it, quote, keeps you sane.
Yes, it does.
What's your version of insane when you stop writing? What do you do?
I don't know, get sad, depressed, I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's not really insane.
Oh no.
Fair enough. We're going to juggle the mics back here. You guys are another duet coming up now.
Yes.
Okay. Give us a second to get set up. What are we going to hear?
We're going to hear a song that I actually has the word Saskatoon in it. It's my Saskatoon song.
Okay.
And it's, once again, I guess we're playing kind of, for me, I'm playing kind of my folky country stuff this evening, which works well in a duo setting. And it's a song from Redberry, and it actually started out as, the title was Tennessee Smile, and then I got tired of that, and I thought, well, what does this have to do at all with Tennessee? Because it's really written about things that happened right here in Saskatoon. And so I came up with it, and it's a waltz, which is kind of fun. I like waltzes. And anyway, it's called Saskatoon Smile. Well, I swear it seems like a lifetime. You know, we're going to try that again because I'm going to actually turn my guitar up so it can be heard. That was the a cappella version. Live TV, man. Okay. I swear it seems like a lifetime ago I started chasing my dream. Can't quite recall the beginning or end. It's so clear to me in between. And you're only as old as you feel, they say. One day 60, the next 17. Driving down Highway 11, I had to pull over a while, 'cause the rain on the windshield was taking me back to the girl with a Saskatoon smile. Sometimes she thinks she's an actor, acting in somebody's life. Thought she had all the answers, acting as somebody else's wife. You can count lucky stars if you want to, but sometimes you just roll the dice. She said, you remind me of someone I knew 20 lifetimes ago. Spent so many years on the payroll, trying to stay off the skid row. Driving down I-27, she had to pull over a while, 'cause that Hank Williams song was doing it wrong to the girl with the Saskatoon smile. Well, I drove down 4th Avenue Sunday, and I swear it was her that I saw, walking alone down the empty old street. I had to slow down, but I couldn't stop, 'cause choices were made and bills must be paid, and it's time to bring in the crop. She said, you will surely forget me, but I know I never will. We were both so much younger and foolish. A fork in the road was the time standing still. I think I'll go over the border, 'cause I haven't been there in a while. The wind and the wheat fields are taking me back to the girl with a Saskatoon smile. The snow blowing over the highway tonight is the girl with a Saskatoon smile.
Jay Semko, Kim Fontaine. We gotta lose the mics here. Everyone have a seat.
Yeah, it's like a cowboy song, that one. And it brings a tear to the eye.
Before the break, I alluded to a rumor, Jay Semko. All my life, I've been a proud marauder. Walter Murray.
Oh, Murray guy.
We were told that members of the Northern Pikes attended Murray. As we were told, The Undertaker from the WWE attended Murray. The jury's still out on that one. Everyone from any other high school tells me The Undertaker did not attend Walter Murray, but I still hold that. I still hold that as fact. However, I was pretty confident people wouldn't make up of the Northern Pikes. Some of them went to Murray. That's not true either?
I don't believe it's true, but I might be proved wrong because Brian moved here to Saskatoon when he was in grade 9. And I think he may have actually started at Murray because we were talking about that before, and I was convinced that that he didn't go there. But then the more I think about it, the more I think he talked about that to somebody. So I think he actually, I think he may have started at Murray and then gone over to Evan Hardy, which is where myself and Merle went, and Donnie went to Holy Cross. So that's where the Pikes went.
So you guys went to school. They went to school with The Undertaker. I did not know that. There we go. As you guys are playing, I was just wondering, what changes have you seen in the music industry since you guys started? Like locally? Like how is it easier for them now? These up and comers? Like you guys didn't have MySpace. You guys couldn't file share like that.
I would say yes, because when we were starting, when I was starting, I mean the holy grail was to get a record deal, was to get signed, right? And the playing field is really leveled out more. And I think if you want to have your own career in it, you know, a self-sustaining career, that there's more opportunity for you to be able to achieve that now than there was back then. But that said, too, I mean, playing the circuit used to make more money back then. You actually get paid less money now. So, yeah,
that's changed, the money thing. But I mean, I think just the internet and communications in general have just opened up the world for everybody. I mean, you know, when I was in a band called the Idols in the late '70s, and we were pretty much kind of a punk rock band. And the first time it came around, I mean, it was weird because we were very well liked in cities, but we'd play in rural areas, and we were often hated, literally, you know, driven at people chasing us, throwing beer bottles and hating us, you know, and threatening us and stuff. But I don't think that it's certainly not. The world is a lot smaller place now, and people that would be in those days threatened by something that because it was new and different, and they hadn't been exposed to it. I think now you're exposed to everything, man. It's just like the internet is everywhere, and communication is everywhere. And I think on a local level, like Kim was saying, I think there's probably, it's realistic. You know, it's funny, you don't get paid as much money, but it's realistic to create kind of your own music career if you want to. You can create your own niche, and the world's a lot smaller place than it used to be, which is very cool, I think.
I often argue with people kind of along those lines about the Beatles, where they say they're the be-all and end-all of music that there ever was, and it's hard not to agree with that, but the music industry as a whole, in my opinion, will never be in a position where a band can take over like that ever again. Like if the Beatles or someone equivalent like that would come in now, it wouldn't have the same impact. They wouldn't take over the world because there's so many genres that you can be exposed to.
Yeah, and people nowadays are almost more searching for music. You know, with the internet and with MySpace and stuff like that, you can discover all kinds of cool new things. You know.
We got to take our last commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to wrap up with the showcase song, the best song of the night. However, first, the last thing right before this break, would you guys have killed to be on like Canadian or American Idol back in the day? Like to have that around? You look at Teresa.
Teresa did great. Palmer Teresa and Josh did great.
Didn't hurt their careers.
No, it didn't.
Do you look at that and go, "That's nice"? Where was that 15 years ago?
I think that show, you know, it's like anything else. You have to get what you can out of it. But I think both Teresa and Josh, I mean, it got things rolling for them, and they're both extremely, extremely talented people. That, you know, it's very cool when you've got somebody, you know, from your hometown. that you can root for on a national level. And I mean, that show has like the biggest ratings of all time in Canadian TV, I think. So that's cool.
I think it's a good way, like if you're smart, to build up a fan base. I think if you go in thinking that Canadian Idol is going to make me a star, that's the wrong way to go into it. But if you go into it with, I write songs, I know how to perform, I know how to do this, and this is a way for me to build an audience, then I think that it can be very advantageous for you. I mean, Teresa did very, very well with her first record.
We have to take our last commercial break. And I never do this, but I want to do this tonight. What are we going to hear after the break?
We might play an old Northern Pikes song.
There it is. That's all I need to say. Stripped Down wraps up after this.
Tune into Shaw for TCU Place Arts and Entertainment weekdays only on Shaw. From celebrities to local artists, musicians, and performers, arts and entertainment reporter Curtis Anderson is your hookup for everything going on in the local entertainment scene. TCU Place Arts and Entertainment with Curtis Anderson, only on Shaw.
Voted Best Clothing Store for 2006-2007, Ultimo Yuramoda features high-speed fashion such as Belle Staff and J. Lindenberg. Ultimo doesn't follow the trends, they introduce them.
Providing a wide range of instruments under one roof, Mother's Music has been operating out of Saskatoon for 17 years. With music lessons, instrument rentals, and in-store financing, Mother's Music will fill your local music needs.
Grab a rod and a reel and tune into Shaw on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. for FishingSaskatchewan.ca's Fishing Saskatchewan Show. Join Steve, Smitty, and Terry as they take you on a wild ride through Saskatchewan's lake country. FishingSaskatchewan.ca's Fishing Saskatchewan Show. Tuesdays, only on Shaw.
Ralco Radio in Saskatoon. C95, Rock 102, and News Talk 650 are proud supporters of Saskatoon's local music scene, including Shaw's Stripped Down.
Affinity Credit Union is a proud sponsor of community programming. Affinity Credit Union. Our difference is personal.
You are watching Stripped Down. Here it is, Jay Semko and Kim Fontaine.
Well, she works so hard, and at the end of the day, it's a little something extra to take it all away. See, love can conquer all, and man, I wish it were true. She's a girl with a problem, and there's nothing I can do, nothing I can do. You can bang your head against a brick wall. You can like her Humpty Dumpty, but you can't prevent a fall. Well, a bang, 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 and there's nobody home. She's a girl with a problem, and she wants to be alone. You can't lie to me. You can't lie to yourself for a while, till those lies turn into something else. I will talk to you, and you will listen to me for a while. Then you'll turn your back and away you go, away you go. Can somebody please help me, 'cause it's driving me mad. Sometimes she's so good, but sometimes she's just so bad. Thinks I don't know, but I have been there before. More than once I've thought about just walking out that door, walking out that door. And take me away, I know nothing lasts forever. Take me away. Well, nobody wants a gallows, nobody needs a noose. So break those chains and let her run loose. I love that little girl and I will love her till the end. She's got a little problem and she needs to have a good friend. A real good friend. You can't lie to me. You can't lie to yourself for a while, till those lies turn into something else. I will talk to you. You will listen to me for a while, then you'll turn your back and away you go. Away you go. She's a girl with a problem and it's plain to see. I try to help her out but she won't listen to me. She's a girl with a problem. She's a girl with a problem. She's a girl with a problem. She's a girl with a problem and there ain't no cure.
Wow! Jay Semko, Kim Fontaine. No, we're not sitting down. We're running out of time. We're just gonna. I'm like sharing the stage with Kim Fontaine and Jay Semko. That's so cool. We're totally out of time. Brand new disc.
It's called International Superstar.
It's out there. People can get their
bet
hands on
you
it.
can get it. Yeah.
How does the summer shape up for you guys? Busy?
Pretty darn busy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots going on.
Check out my spaces for all the information on both of you. Mm-hmm. All right. I want to say a huge, huge thank you to the cast tonight, the crew behind the scenes. It's their finals. They're doing finals right now, and they came out to help with the show anyways. Huge thanks to that. Anyways, yes, thanks to our sponsors, Ultimo, Uramoto, Mother's Music, and Rolco Radio. Huge thanks to Kim Fontaine and Jay Semko. For the first time ever, I'm going to toss out a teaser for next week. Next week, people, next week. Sit down, get your jaws off the floor. Next week, keep your fingers crossed. Next week, 15 weeks later, we have Josh Palmer and the Rebellion.
All right.
I'm officially holding my breath. For the last time tonight, Jay Semko, Kim Fontaine. Thank you, you guys.
Katie, close the door. Your man ain't coming around here anymore. Don't turn out the light, 'cause heartache loves the darkness in the night. Don't ask why. Tears you cry. Spill out the truth that the heart will deny. Katie, close the door before you let that old ghost of love fool you again. Katie, close the door. Your man ain't coming around here anymore. When you close your eyes, don't listen to the voice you hear inside. Don't ask why. Tears you cry. Spill out the truth that the heart will deny. Katie, close the door before you let that old ghost of love fool you again. Look away from that face in the fire. Don't be tricked by your flagrant desire.